Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and today we're going to go over a series of tips and tricks, things that I've learned over my last week and a half using the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the S8 Plus. So let's check them out. Now the first tip we're going to start with the S8 is really going to be about the lock screen. I did a video series of the top 10 to 15 things that I recommend family and friends should do to get the maximum out of the S8, especially when it comes to unlocking and other features that may be different from what you've had before. So we're not going to cover those features in this video, so if you want to see those, check out that video. But here I'm going to talk about some of the features that you see in the lock screen that you may not be aware of. So now, if you were to tap on any of these icons here, you're going to immediately get taken into the application. But this area here also has functionality. If we double tap on it, what you're going to do is you're going to see your music player. The last song that was on the music player will appear there. If you swipe over or go to the right, you're also going to see your calendar. You're going to see what is next in the schedule for that specific day. So this little feature, double tap, and you'll be able to see those items here. You'll be able to see your calendar, and you'll be able to see your music player. All you have to do is set up this one area. Now, in order to be able to switch through what I just showed you, the first thing you're going to have to do is go into Settings. And then after you go into Settings, you're going to go into Lock Screen. Once you find Lock Screen, you're going to scroll down to where it says Information and Face Widgets. In this area, what you'll do is you'll choose Face Widgets. And once you choose Face Widgets, you'll turn on Music Controller, Today's Schedule, and you could also have Next Alarm. You can also reorder these based on the order that you'd want. So when I double tapped, I saw the music controller. You can choose the reorder button to make sure that the today's schedule is the first one. So neat little feature that many don't know. Now the next feature I wanted to show you on the lock screen, or just on this screen here, was the fact that missing that home button was something that kind of was driving me and my friends crazy. So I normally turned on my phone always, starting from forever using Samsung phones, and even when using the iPhone, I like pressing the center. But with no physical center button, I found myself going to the power button and sometimes pressing the bixby button just by mistake. Well, one thing that is still available is, even though if you don't see this little button here, and I gave this tip in my first 10 things to do, even if you don't see anything there, if you press and hold here, it will unlock the screen if there's no lock. If there is a lock, it will basically turn on the phone to show you the unlock parameter, so you can either put your PIN or you can put something else. So once again, even though you don't see a button there, if you press in this area where the button would be, it will start up your phone. Now another tip is related to the camera. I used to press the home button twice to bring up the camera function. Now you can use a power button. So if you press it twice, what it will do is it will bring up the camera as if you were pressing the double button twice on the bottom. So double click the power button to get into your camera mode. Now this tip is a really basic one, but what happened to your app drawer? Well, to find your apps, all you have to do is swipe up and you'll get your apps. If I go back, if you swipe down, you'll also get your apps. So once again, if you want to find them, swipe up or swipe down and you'll get them. Now, if you really want to get the app tray back, that's something that's easily found. So what we're going to do is go into Display. And once you go into Display, we are going to go down to Home Screen. So we're going to choose that. And in Home Screen, you'll notice that you have a couple things you can do. You can change the size of the grid. You can change the apps grid. But notice that there's something here that's apps button. What you can do is, by choosing this feature, it's going to bring that apps button back. It's going to bring up that app tray if that's something that you'd like. Again, you notice how it's here, it's displayed. And when you do hide, it disappears. So if you want to get that back because you like working with your phone old school, just go ahead and choose that option. Now another feature that is included inside of the S8 is the Bixby app. So when you swipe over this way, you'll get into Bixby. You'll notice how I went over there. And you may not want to get into Bixby. So there used to be also a Flipboard program there. So if you want to eliminate jumping into Bixby, like right here, notice it says Hello Bixby, all you do is just turn that off. Now keep in mind that you'll be able to turn off swiping to the left and running into it, but you won't be able to turn off this button or reuse this button. But at least you can eliminate it from showing up there. Now here you'll have all your pages that are available, and obviously now Bixby is off. So now if I go home again, let me get out of this, and I try to swipe, there's nothing there. So just these are my apps, and that Bixby is gone. Now this tip is a multifunction tip, meaning that it just does a lot of things. So the first thing, let's say you want to get rid of this badge, that number 9 that's there that says I have 9 text messages, and you just want to have it disappear for whatever reason. If you press and hold on it, and then release, you're going to get the sub menu. Notice the sub menu gives you the ability to remove a shortcut, it gives you the ability to clear the badge, and also allows you to select multiple items if you want to select multiple programs. So if I choose clear badge, it disappears. So this is one way, especially if you have, like in my case here where I have all these emails, 833 unread me emails, I could press and hold on it, and then I could just clear it away so I don't have to see all those tags. So now let's say you'd want to group programs the way I have. All you do is you press and hold, and then you drag on top of the other folder or the other application. It's going to create a folder automatically. Now you could name this, so I'll call it test. Now once I've named it, I can go ahead and also change the color of it if that's something I'd like. And I could also choose add apps to get more apps that are within my app tray. Or I can just tap anywhere, and now that group has been created. To uncreate a group, all you do is select it, drag one of the programs out, it's going to come out of it, and the group is gone. Now, uninstalling an app is also pretty simple. All you do is you press and hold. Once that menu comes up, you'll notice one of my options here is to uninstall. You could also go into App Info, and under App Info, this is a really cool shortcut to come in and see, memory, to reset, uninstall, force, reset, clear the cache. This you'd have to go into settings. You'd have to find your applications, and then once you're in the applications, then you would go ahead and you could clear things. But now you can do it via that shortcut menu. Now, for those of you who are into widgets and haven't found the widgets, all you do is you pinch in. And once you pinch in, you have the ability to change your wallpapers and also access themes. And the neat thing about the wallpaper and the themes is you do have the ability not only to change the wallpaper and appearance, but you can also select things. So for example, I have wallpapers, I have themes here. I could also choose icons. So if you don't like the way the icons look, you can change the icons to go from one look to another, and it's going to show you what the icons would look like. So this is kind of more traditional icons, or you could keep the new ones. But here you have a full library of different icons that you can choose from to get the kind of look and feel that you'd like. So let's go back into that as well. The other thing that you can is, so you have, once again, your wallpapers, themes, and your icons. If you go into add, here you can look at always on displays. And notice that there's some different options here, things that you can put on your always on display to make your always on display a little bit cooler. Some of them are free, some of them come with a fee. But you'll notice, let's look at this one. We'll zoom in. You'll have like kind of the skull look on there. So that's another option if you want to dress up or go even further, personalizing your S8. So while we're in this area, we'll talk about widgets as well. So let's go into widgets. And these widgets that you see here are going to vary from the phone to phone based on the applications that are installed. So you may not have all the same widgets that I do based on which programs you have installed. But there's a couple cool widgets here that we want to talk about. First of all is this magnifier. This magnifier, if I were to grab that widget and I would drop it right here, really what this does is it allows you to use your phone as a magnifying glass. So it is going to allow you to magnify something like I'm doing right here. Think about if you're trying to read a prescription bottle or something that has small text. A lot of people take out their phone, and what they start doing with their phone is they start using it if it was a magnifying glass. Well, there's a widget for that, and you can also take a picture for it. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you here in the widgets, let's go back into it, and let's look at another one, is one that's called Device Manager. I just saw as we were swiping around. Let's see if we see that one. We'll go this way. Now, Device Manager, here it is. You have two widgets. This is found in the menu, and this is very similar to some of those memory apps that you find that you can download, like Clean Sweep. So what you could do is you could either put in a longer widget or a single button click. So this one right here, we'll put it on here so you can see what it does. Tells you everything that's going on, right? So it tells you your storage, tells you your memory, and you can hit optimize. And what it's doing is it's going to clear out any programs that are currently running and just optimize the phone so that it starts working faster. This is a really quick way. Instead of going into the menu and actually finding it and doing it, which we'll see in a couple seconds, and notice what it cleared up, you could just do it by hitting that button. Now, if you don't really care to have all that content on your screen, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it. So let's tap it again, and I'll choose remove. Widget's gone. Do the same thing for this one. Remove it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my widgets, and I'm going to choose this one that's here. Now this one will do the exact same thing, but what I like about it is it's just a single button. You just tap it and it will just clean up your memory and anything else that needs to be tidied up in order to get better performance. Now one last thing in this view I just wanted to show you is you can define any of these pages to be your home page. You notice how I have the little house up there? If I tap right here, this is the home page. If I tap right here, and now this is the home page. Now if I want to add another page, and you see I can see one here, you see there's a garbage can there, I can delete it. If I hit that plus, another page is going to show up. So if I don't need that page, it's gone now. And now all I have is this page and then the pages that are here. I can actually organize things differently. So let's say if I want to balance things out, I can grab a page and then I can move it to the left or to the right wherever I want it, just to organize where I have my content as well. Now another thing that you can personalize on your phone is pretty much anything on the screen. I've showed you how to create groups, I've showed you how to delete them, but you notice this part right here in the bottom, you can actually modify anything here as well by moving things around and creating groups. So anything on the bottom, you can drag a program down, you can create a group as well in this area. So everything is very flexible. Now the same thing happens here. You'll notice I have groups. So I like taking my apps and then just putting them in categories. You can do that by simply coming up here to these three dots, tapping it, and you can sort, and that's going to change the sort order. If I go into sort, you can sort either in custom or in alphabetical order. The alphabetical order one will, as soon as you add a new app, it's going to be sorted alphabetically. Now to group folders together or programs together to create these folders as I did, it really works just as we did it in the home screen. You just grab what you want, drag it right on top of it, and it creates the folder. You can name the folder whatever you like. And also change the color if that's something you want. You could actually remove the folder completely by just dragging the icons out. Now, if you are selecting something, you could choose add or select multiple items if you want to put multiple items in a folder, or you can add them to your secure folder. You also have the ability to uninstall multiple items at the same time. But let's go ahead and talk about the secure folder next. Now, the secure folder is an area on the phone that is encrypted and secured and protected from anyone being able to access it or see anything that's inside of it. You could put programs in there. So if you have specific programs that you use for work or programs that you use personally, you could put Facebook in there. You could put Snapchat, anything that you want to protect from anyone having access to. You also can put content. So you can put videos, you can put audio, so you can put your music, you can put pictures, whatever you'd want to have in that secure folder. Now the secure folder could be protected by your PIN, it could be by your Retina, whatever kind of security model you created. Now, in order for this folder to appear, you need to make sure that you have that little folder selected. Notice how it's in blue. So if you pull down and you don't see it, if you pull twice, you're going to be able to see the full list. You can also choose two fingers to bring it down to see the entire full list. So one or two, depending on what you're looking for. And if you don't see it there, you can always swipe to the right or to the left to see it. Now, once you choose it and it appears, the next stage will be setting it up. Setting up is pretty simple. It's just going to ask you for how you will unlock it and as far as what PIN you're going to have to secure it as well. And also keep in mind that if you reboot your phone using the device maintenance tool that's part of the phone, the first time you access it, you're going to have to use your PIN. Even if you have, let's say, biometrics selected, fingerprint, or Retina, you'll have to use that PIN. So don't forget the PIN, because if you forget the PIN, you won't be able to get into your secure folder. So now what I've done here is I dragged a program into the secure folder, and you could do adding files, you can add apps. So if I choose apps, it's going to look at all the apps that I have here and add them. And again, as I choose, and you can do that with any app, there aren't really any restrictions. The credentials for that app will be secure and stored as part of this. Music, pictures, it just saves everything. The same thing as if you have some contact information that you want to save. So this is powered by Samsung's Knox technology, which is a military-grade encryption and protection solution that really is going to secure your content here. This is really great for those of you who are also using your phone for work purposes or run your own business, and you want to keep your documents, Excel files, any of that stuff secure in this area. But once again, you can put photos, calendar entries, contacts, emails, any program you put in here will be protected by the security folder. Now this is one of my favorite tips for the phone, and this is going to keep your phone running fresh every single time you use it. So I'm going to show you how you can type ahead for things. So you can use your search function and you can type in the word auto restart. So I'm going to just use that shortcut since I already typed it. And we're going to go into the auto restart function. And what auto restart is going to do for you is restart your phone once a week. By doing that, it is going to keep your phone fresh. It's going to keep like the memory clear. You have that device management little button that I showed you, or that shortcut, but I always like restarting my phone once a week. Some people restart their phones every single day. I don't think it's that needed, but once a week is definitely going to keep your phone running smoothly. So here what you'll do is it gives you kind of the conditions that it's only going to restart if the phone is off, the phone is not being used, the battery is about 30%, the SIM card lock is off, internal storage isn't encrypted, and then what will happen is, in my case, I have it set up for 11:59 every Saturday. I don't have it restart on Sundays because I do use my phone as my alarm, and I'm kind of a little paranoid. I don't really want my Monday morning to be interrupted just in case the auto restart failed. But I've been using this feature on many phones, including the Samsung ones, and it was very regular and consistent for me, even with the Samsung S7. So a way to restart your phone and keep it fresh. Now, let's take a couple seconds to talk about toggles. You do have the ability to do Wi-Fi dialing. Most carriers have this, so that's something that's available for Samsung users, AT&T, Verizon. Everybody is doing this right now, T-Mobile. So this is going to give you the ability to leverage your network at home, especially if you have spotty connections in your house because of just cellular penetration. Now here you notice I have a VPN. If you have a VPN software, any kind of software, it's going to show up in the toggle if they've configured it to do so. And what you could do is, to see it, I'm going to basically go here, and I'm going to do button order. You'll notice here on the bottom how this popped up. So I also use LastPass, and LastPass has an app fill for passwords. And my PIA was here. So all I did is I dragged it from this area to the top. I put it wherever I wanted it, and it appeared on top. So what this is going to do for you is, if you do use a VPN for business purposes like I do, you can immediately access it without having to launch the program. And it's just going to be a one-button push. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of this for a second, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to choose the PIA, and you'll notice that it immediately went ahead and it enabled my encryption. Done. This is a really neat way, especially if you're going to a Starbucks or any kind of public Wi-Fi and you want to make sure that your phone is fully protected. The other thing that you'll see here is your flashlight. So I have my flashlight there, and I also have my mobile hotspot. So let's talk about the hotspot feature next. Now I'm covering up some of my credential information here, so I don't have to reconfigure it. But what I wanted to talk about is a feature that many don't use, and that is use 5 gigahertz band when available. So when you're using your hotspot, you can use two bands, 2.4 or 5 gigahertz. If this is not checked, what will happen is you'll use 2.4 gigahertz. The 2.4 gigahertz band is used by everybody. So if you are in an airport, or if you are in a coffee shop or in a library, if there's any kind of Wi-Fi there, it's probably using 2.4, which means there's going to be a lot of congestion, and it also means that things are going to go slower. So if you say use 5 gigahertz band, that means that when your laptop, tablet, or your other devices connect to your phone, it's going to connect on a band that is rarely used and is actually going to be much faster. Now keep in mind, 5 gigahertz bands don't tend to do well with long distances. They don't penetrate walls as well as the 2.4. That's why the 2.4s are so popular. But if you have your phone next to your laptop, like I typically do, or your tablet, you can use the 5 gigahertz band, and it will be a lot faster, and it won't have to compete with all the Wi-Fi noise. Now the next tip I wanted to give you had to do with the blue light filter. So I'm going to press this, and blue light filter is a really great way to make it easier to read content, especially at night. You can see the difference of what's happening as I do this. So the blue light filter at night saves or makes it easier to read content. It also supposedly, according to scientists, normal light, like it is right now, kind of messes with your brain and makes it harder for you to sleep. So enabling that is a neat feature. Now what I have mine set to is sunset to sunrise. So turn on the schedule. That means as soon as it gets dark, my phone changes and I won't be glowing as harshly. You can also create a custom schedule, and you could adjust the intensity of the blue light filter. So this is a nice feature that I would recommend that if you haven't, you turn that on, because it just makes your phone much more enjoyable. Now the next feature we're going to talk about is ultra power saving, or power saving mode. And all I did is I pressed and held my button there for a couple seconds. Now, here's the thing. The power saving modes have improved so much since the first generations of this. And it's something that you really should take advantage of. So think about this. If, let's say, for example, you are in a workplace that requires you to put your phone away during work hours, and when you come to it, you find that it's dead. What you could do is, instead of just leaving it as is you can turn on, for example, this feature here. As soon as I choose the mid, it's basically going to make some changes to how my phone performs. It's going to reduce the screen resolution. It's going to slow down the CPU a bit. You'll notice it's going to decrease brightness 10%. But by doing it, I get 14 hours of battery life. And the phone still works. That means all of the features, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff still works. Now, you could go max. Now, max is crazy, but max is going to give you 41 hours of battery life. So this is good if you really aren't going to be using your phone and you just want basic functionality. Once you choose it, and I'm gonna apply it now, you're going to see it's going to add 29 hours to my phone, but it's going to turn your phone into a basic phone. So I'm going to say apply, and it's going to go through the process and apply that setting, and it's going to then recalculate how many hours how much battery life I'm going to have, and it's going through each one of these, and you'll notice how it's changing, going from 1 to 24, 35, and it's again reducing all of these features. So now with all these features gone, now my phone is kind of a basic phone all of a sudden, but now I have 41 hours of battery life. That's you always watch movies and you see these people who their phones never die. This is a feature that's going to extend your battery life tremendously. Now, to turn off ultra power saving mode, you tap on the three buttons here and you say turn it off, and what it's going to do is it's going to start turning things back on. So notice as it's turning back certain features and it's going through, right now your battery is going from 41 hours back to the normal settings. It's going to turn on the biometrics. So that means your fingerprint sensor and your retina scan is now going to work. And your screen is going to go back to the normal mode. Once again, neat feature that many people don't know about, and it's definitely something that you should take advantage of. So the next feature we're going to take a look at is multi-window. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your recent apps, if you have launched any, and you'll notice that you have these little icons appearing next to certain programs. If the program can be launched in a multi-window mode, you'll see it. So notice how my Studio here doesn't have it, which means it can't support it, but you'll notice that Chrome does, and so does Flipboard. So the purpose of multi-window is to allow you to be in two programs at the same time. So that you can see what's going on in both programs and interact with both of them simultaneously. So what I'm going to choose is I'm going to choose Flipboard, and Flipboard is now coming to the top. And what I can do is I can cycle through the programs that I have, or I can actually go in and look at other apps that are available to see if there's something else I want to multi-window to. So let me go ahead back into this. I'm going to go ahead and choose this, and then I'm going to choose Chrome. So now I have two programs up at the same time. I can interact with them. I can have YouTube streaming. I could go through my Flipboard news and just go through it and actually see what's going on here. I can make the window larger if I like, or I can make it smaller or split it right in half. I can, if I'm in this window, I can actually tap on this button and I can switch to another multi-window app. Wherever my focus is, and focus is defined with the one that you last touched, you can switch. So I'll go back to Chrome and show you I'm up here now, and I'm going to choose that. And what I'll do is I'll just get out of this one, and now if I go back to this one right here, let's make it full screen. Now I'm back to my full screen mode. So a lot of neat functionality when it comes to multi-window. Now here's some more multi-window tricks. What you can do is by tapping on the middle of this line, you can change the order or switch them back and forth. You could also go into kind of like a hovering window like this and continue to work on the one in the background. You could also minimize it like this, and it's just there, and it's going to stay there. So if I go home, you notice it's still there. And as soon as I tap on it, it's going to come back. So you can do this with a calculator. Again, you can do it with any application that has these icons here. I'm going to go back into my Flipboard and notice how it's there. And what I can do is I can make this one larger again. I can go back to my multi-window, have it there, tap here, and what I could do is expand. So look at selecting the area on the top of the screen to dock if I wanted to dock. I'll go back to here, I'll hit X, and I'll close out of that one. So a lot of little flexibility when you're using multi-window. Now this feature I believe is only available on AT&T, and that is scheduling text messages. So if you're going to enter a text message, what you can do is put in a text message, and if you come up here, you can actually schedule it. And the neat thing about scheduling a message is you can set yourself a reminder. Sometimes your significant other can say, hey, can you remind me at 3 p.m. to do this on my way from work? You can actually schedule it, and then once you put in the time that you want it to go out, so I can put it at 4:58, hit done, you'll notice that it's scheduled here at the very bottom. So whoever I send this text message to, when I hit send, it's not going to go out until it's this time, 4:58, then it will go out. So scheduling text messages is a neat feature. I believe that it may be something that only is available on AT&T. Those of you who are on T-Mobile, US Cellular, Verizon, let me know in the comment area if it's not available. Now under messages, we also have another cool feature, is that if you were to swipe to the right, you're going to be able to call the person. If you swipe to the left, you'll be able to send them a text message. So really, all you do is swipe left or right, depending on the action that you'd like to take. So now let's say you wanted to have this as a floating window. And you can do this with most apps. You just go to the corner and then drag over. So let me grab right here, just like this. And whatever size you leave it in, it's going to become that size. So it becomes a floating window that you can move around. To return to the normal size, all you have to do is click on that expand icon and it goes back to normal. Now the screen capture is pretty simple. All you're going to do is make sure you press the volume down button, and what you're going to do is you're going to press the power button simultaneously. You get this scroll capture function, which is going to allow you to continue to press and scroll down and capture every screen. So you keep on pressing scroll capture, and you can see in the preview window here how the scroll is going to be a very long image because it's going to have everything that I've captured. Once you're done, all you have to do is tap anywhere on the screen and that capture is complete. Now this phone also comes with Bluetooth 5.0, and Bluetooth 5.0 gives you the ability to share multiple Bluetooth connections with more than one device. So I'm going to long press on the Bluetooth, and it's showing you the list of devices that you have connected. So let's say you're in a situation where you're on a plane with someone, you're on a train with someone, and they have their own headphones, you have your own headphones, and you want to share with them what you're watching on your phone. If you go here to the three dots, you'll notice that there is a dual audio function. This dual audio function, if enabled, allows you to have two headphones connected to the same phone, and both of you will see the same thing at the same time, or listen to the same thing at the same time. This is great for when you're on a plane. This is great when you're on a train. Someone has their own headphones. You can pair them and then share the same content. A really cool feature with dual audio through the Bluetooth feature. Now, with Nougat version 7, you basically have this new function called device maintenance. Now, we saw device maintenance as a shortcut when we're doing widgets. This is the full app, and this is what's found inside of the settings area. You can manually go into any of these areas and optimize. Notice I have a lot of stuff going on my phone since I've been doing the recording, so I can hit optimize now, and it's going to go through and free up applications that are running, any kind of application crashes, anything that's going on that could get me better performance. I could also go down at each level and look at things. So for example, here is my battery modes, so I can choose different modes from a power saving perspective. I can go back. I can go here into performance mode. And in performance mode, if I'm game playing or watching video, I can choose that I want to have a higher performance. Now keep in mind that if you make any of these changes, it is going to consume your battery much faster. But what you can do is change it, and then it's going to optimize or perform much better. It's very similar to what you see on laptops, especially Windows laptops, where you can choose different performance modes. So that's an option for you as well, and that's found under this area. In the storage area, you can look and see what's consuming all your space, and you can clean things up if you'd like to. So if there is anything that you'd want to clean up, either from an APK perspective, documents, things that are on your SD card, you can go ahead and take care of that here. Last place is memory. And then again, this is active programs. If you clean that manually, it's going to go through any of the applications that are currently running and try to optimize it as well. Again, this is one way you can do it. The other way is going through that shortcut that you can have on your desktop, this device maintenance that I showed you a couple tips ago. Now, one thing that you may notice is that when you swipe down, you don't see your control for your brightness. You have to go twice to see it. Well, if you want to see it on the top, all you have to do is tap here, and you'll notice where it says Show Control on top. We'll go ahead and set it to top, and you hit Done. And now when you swipe down, it's immediately on the top. So if you're missing your battery percentage next to the battery, all you have to do is go into Settings. You're going to go into Display. We're going to look for Status Bar. And in Status Bar, you're going to say Show Battery Percentage. Just check that option. Now, another tip, and this one specifically for the battery, is how do you make sure that you don't have those apps that are running in the background that could be eating up your battery even if you're not using them. Sometimes there's apps that become rogue apps and start doing that. So let me show you what you do. You go into Device Maintenance. We're going to select the battery, and then we're going to choose the three dots that are up here, and we're going to go into Advanced Settings. In Advanced Settings, you're going to want to make sure that App Power Monitor is enabled. What that's going to do for us is it's going to make sure that the actual apps that are running in the background get cleared out if they're unused. So notice what you have here. First of all, we turn this on. It says put unused app to sleep when not used for 3 days. So if you have an app that is running in the background that you haven't used, this is going to take care of it, and it's going to make sure that you have extended battery life and that something is not using up your battery. Now, the last tip I'm going to show you, it has to do with the edge screen. So you notice on the side here, I have this panel. Well, here you have several things that you can have, or shortcuts to programs. These are the programs that I put on the edge for me to have access quickly to. On the bottom here, you have a control. This control allows you to determine which edge applications are on. So you can have edge apps, and there's some that you could, there's even a marketplace that you can add to that edge. Now, if I am looking at, for example, in this specific area, it's really easy to customize this. Now, to add more programs or modify this, you go into your settings, you'll choose Edit, and then here what you'll see is the apps that I already have on the edge. I can remove them, or I can add them, or I can grab an app from here and then just drag it into this area. But I only have 6 that I can have here, so I'd have to remove one of these to add anything that appears in this list of programs. And pretty much it's every program that's available on your phone. There's no limits. So this concludes our tips and tricks for the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.